I remember when he gave me the instruction, rude. Hey, welcome to Something Black Owned, where we literally talk about something Black owned. My name is Kendra, and as always, I'm so happy that you're here. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. How it works over here is every single video I will feature a different Black owned brand. I'll show you how I style it or use it in my day-to-day life with the hopes that it will encourage you to diversify your spending and or just increase your awareness to the amazing Black owned brands that are on the market. Today, as you can tell by the title, we're in episode 1. Okay, we're doing a mini series of my journey to becoming an author, something that I did not see coming, all right, like at all. And it's just been such a special journey and moment for me. I never really aspired to be an author, though an extremely noble achievement. It was just never something that was on my bucket list. Only because books and reading for me growing up was associated very negatively. And backtrack to when I was in elementary school, if you will, I remember I was considered a poor reader. I really struggled with reading. It was extremely difficult for me. I hated reading comprehension just because it was hard. And I had a resource teacher. I had to be pulled out of class. Raise your hand if you had a resource teacher. If you didn't, it's okay. But I had to have kind of special amenities in order to make sure that I didn't fall through the cracks. I remember being essentially traumatized when my teacher would call on me in class to read aloud, and whenever I would stumble across words or I couldn't get through a sentence as fluently as, say, my classmates could, I would hear like little snickering in the back, little mockery. Kids weren't very kind, okay? So it was something that I never really looked forward to. And I remember coming into the knowledge that I had a shortcoming in that area. And I think for me as a child, when you're kind of made aware of an area that you're not necessarily the strongest in, naturally you kind of want to preserve, like you want to protect from embarrassment. And so I remember just kind of being very shy and very reserved. And I am so grateful. My God, I'm so grateful for my mom. And she raised me as a single mom, and she's literally my best friend. And she saw that we were heading in the wrong direction. She saw that, I wanted to throw in the towel of school in the 3rd grade. And we couldn't do that. So she made the grave sacrifice and time commitment to put me in special tutoring, and it was a huge financial sacrifice also. And we did it like 2 or 3 times a week. I remember for about 2 or 3 years, and that was just to make sure that I didn't fall through the cracks, because she saw that we were heading in the wrong direction. And I just thank God for her being aware and making sure that I had everything that I needed in order to be successful. And so, when it was time for your girl to be promoted to graduate the 5th grade, we kicked it in gear. Okay, we went from below average to above by the grace of God. And after that, I remember academics was like top tier for me. I never wanted to be in the situation where I was seen as inadequate, or I seemed like I wasn't able to perform that of my peers or my classmates. So I worked extremely hard in school. I managed also simultaneously being an athlete, and I was very adamant about working hard. School didn't come easy for me at all, but I got good grades. I got great grades. And I don't want to say that I always held on to what I experienced in elementary school, but it definitely was kind of a driving force for me. And so naturally, from that perspective, I never thought or really aspired really to be an author just because of that association. But I always remember growing up having an extreme fondness for writing and kind of journaling and even doodling. And it was kind of a form of expression for me. And so now from that context, I could see how a book could be brought to life. And so it's just been such a beautiful journey But again, something that I did not plan, and it's just a testament to what God can do when you say yes. Even if it's something that you didn't necessarily foresee for yourself, but just being obedient and trusting that, like, not only is he going to get the glory from this, but it's also going to be for your good. And that's exactly what this experience is. And for those of you who don't follow me on social media, my book is entitled It All Begins With Just a Thought. This is my personal copy, and I don't have any words, okay? I really do not have any words. I will link my Amazon link below if you're interested in purchasing, but I just want to say this. If you have purchased a book, if you have purchased a few books, shared my posts, anything in support of this book and this journey, I thank God for you. It's such a special and overwhelming part of my life. And it's really special. So thank you so very much. And it's cool. Like it's really cool now that I'm kind of looking at it now. So fast forward to about a year, maybe 2 years now. I rewind just a second. I've kind of have an understanding in regards to how God likes to speak to me. Now it's still growing, it's still evolving, but naturally, I'm an introvert. I live in my head. I'm a thinker. I am someone who loves to be behind the scenes. I will close the curtain for you, cheer you on in the background, and be completely content with my life. So naturally, social media I can kind of do without, except for YouTube. And so God just, he downloads these like wisdoms and thoughts, if you will. And he was just giving them to me left and right. Like, I would be at the house, I would be in my sleep, I would be out and about, like they would just come. And so I would just start writing them in my note section just so I didn't lose them. And I remember when he gave me the instruction, I remember when he gave me the instruction to share them. And he was just like, I want you to share these thoughts that I've given you every day for the next year on your Instagram stories. And so it was definitely a testament to being disciplined, because like I said, your girl can go days without being on anybody's social media, anything. Okay. And I remember getting up before work and even on the weekends, just consistently posting, and he would kind of lead me and direct me in regards to which posts he wanted me to share. And so I just needed to be obedient, and I needed to have him forge this sense of discipline and commitment out of me, because I knew that I would need to pull from it later on in life. And so that's what I did. Every single day I posted on my Instagram story for about a year. And I remember the very first post and just kind of the response that I got. Like I think the very first posts, I think a few people shared them. I got, some DMs in regards to just people just saying how encouraged they were and how much they needed them. And I remember always responding like, just as much as you needed them, I needed them too. All right. Like it was like every single one, God was like getting me together simultaneously as I was typing. And I mentioned in my book that I feel like each one of these thoughts are like a diary of sorts, because they're so personal to me and they've connected to different seasons that I've either gone through or wisdoms that I've got from people or will be beneficial for me down the road. And God's just kind of giving me a precursor. But it was just really cool to see how they would encourage people, but how God would also encourage me. And that's how I knew that God was definitely speaking to me in regards to these thoughts, because as he spoke through me in terms of sharing them, they always ministered back to me. That was a lot. But they always ministered back to me at the same time. And it was just, that's what we were doing. He was just like, I just need you to be consistent. I need you to trust me. And that's exactly what I did. And I remember receiving a post, or not a post, but like a DM from someone along the lines of like, sis, what are we doing with these? Because we can't just have them here on the Instagram story to disappear into the abyss 24 hours later. Like, are you writing them down? Like, do we have a book coming? Because I would like one. And that was the very first time I was just like, okay, that's a thought that I never gave thought to. And I think I remember immediately consulting with God. I was just like, I never really thought about this, Lord, but like, what do you think? Like, is this something that you would like to do, and kind of make it clear and kind of confirm if that's the direction you want me to go? And within a week, or I think it was maybe a week and a half, I received 2 other DMs along that same lines in regards to like, are you writing? Like, is it a book? Like, what are we doing? And so after that, I was just like, okay, God, sure. Let's you and me, let's do this thing. And I immediately went into the YouTube abyss of research, and we've kind of just been on this journey of just bringing it about. And it's been so cool to see God walk me through each step, and also just kind of being very in tune with his instruction and kind of when he wanted me to launch, who he wanted me to share what with. I remember a lot of my family members didn't know what I was doing until the very end. Even my mom. And like I said, like, she's my best friend. She's the P to my pod. Okay? She didn't even really know what was going on. My best friend who edited this book for me, we'll talk about her in episode 3, but she knew, obviously, because she was a part of the process, but not a lot of people knew. And he was just like, I designed it just like that because I don't want the opinions of other people to squander or squash what it is that I'm trying to birth. And so he kept it pretty much under wraps, and I was cool with that. All right, I didn't mind. I can hold water. Your girl can hold water. Okay, I can hold water. So we just kind of kept it, and we moved in silence, and we just kind of went through all the steps with, designing and what it was like to publish on Amazon, kind of what that process looked like. And here we are to this moment. So I just want to encourage you guys, if you don't take anything else away from this video, is to just be open. Be open to what God wants to do, even if it's something that you didn't necessarily plan for yourself or even see for yourself. Trust his process. Trust where he's leading, because he will never lead you astray. That's an excerpt in my book. You should get it and check it out. Shameless plug. But he never leads us astray, and there's just a reward. There's a reward for saying yes. There's a reward for our obedience and our discipline. And I am soaking all of that in. So again, I look forward to where God wants to take this. I look forward to more books if that's in his plan for me. I am just so grateful, again, for everybody who supported me, who has just sent their love and their kindness. It's just been such a blessing for me. So there it is. That's all I have for this episode. I am looking forward to the next episodes that are coming in the mini series. So hang out with me. Definitely see what is to come. And I hope you guys are encouraged and inspired. And as always, I pray that God keeps you safe and encouraged until I see you again. And until that time, bye.